to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I am the son of your host, Jeremy Hanson. My father, your host, Jerry Hanson, will talk about the future events for Pine Meadows Hobby Farm for 2016. I hope you enjoy the video.
I want to thank my son Jeremy for introducing me for this video episode. Today we're going to be actually talking about plans for 2016 so you guys can be queued up on what to anticipate through the course of videos we've got coming on. So let's get started. I have a list of things here that we're actually going to be working on for the coming year. The winter is pretty cold and wet. I don't like working outside in uncomfortable weather. So what I'm going to do is plan on things to do inside. One of the things I want to do inside is finish off some remodeling projects. I still have to redo the ceiling, or I have to coat the ceiling with like a drywall mud in the entry, and I'd like to also put some a better texture coating on the walls in the entry. I produced a video some time back on remodeling the entry. I didn't like the way the walls turned out as far as the upper part of the walls. So we're going to go ahead and redo that and finish the entry out. In the library, I just don't like the way the mobile home ceiling turned out. We live in a mobile home, a manufactured home, and it's that typical style manufactured home ceiling with the panels as you see here. I don't really care for that, so what we're going to do for the library is put in some faux beams to cover up those strips that go down the middle, or to separate each panel. And then the library should be finished. The entry would be finished, and then we're going to save the living room for later. I want to go through and do a different texture on the coating of the walls of the living room. I really love the way the crown molding and the window casings and door casings came out and really stepped up the classic appearance of the living room. I like that style. We're going to go ahead and coat the ceiling in the living room like I did in the dining room. We're also going to be finishing off the dining room. I just have to put crown molding on the window casing, door casing, and also a chair back molding, as well as trying to come up with some kind of a more classic look down there, because my dream dining room, see, we don't have a living room furniture and we don't have dining room furniture yet. We've been living in the house for what, a year and a half, 2 years, and we still don't have any living room or dining room furniture. Right now we're storing my daughter's furniture until we get a shed put in, and we'll move that stuff out to the shed. But my dream dining room set is one of those Queen Anne cherry dining room tables. I absolutely love that style, so that's why I'm setting up the dining room in this style to accommodate that style of dining room furniture that I want. My wife and I really like that early American style, and we're still shopping around for furniture. We also have to finish off the hallway and get the door casing and molding up, and buy a door for the closet and finish off the closet. So we've got some indoor projects going on this year through the course of the winter. Next spring, pending how much we actually get back on tax refunds, if we get any back at all, we want to go in and launch in and go ahead and remodel the kitchen. The neighbor across the street remodeled his kitchen, gave us all of his beautiful oak kitchen cabinets. So we're cleaning those up and doing some little bit of restoration on those, and we're going to completely remodel the kitchen. My wife is trying to pick out a floor that she wants, floor covering that she wants, and backsplash countertops and paint color that she wants in her kitchen. But it has to match, it has to go well with the oak, and she wanted the oak cabinets, so this is what we've got going on. So that will be in the spring. I still have to buy a dishwasher. She wants a dishwasher. I really don't want a dishwasher. We live on septic, and having a dishwasher on septic is not all that great. So I'm going to be creative about trying to figure out what to do with the water drainage on the septic. Maybe put in an evaporation pond outside just for the dishwasher, because we won't use it that much. It's just the two of us. And then putting the installing the dishwasher, and also installing one of those. She wants a hood fan over the stove that is an all-in-one hood fan, microwave, convection oven type unit. So we're going to look into that. We'll see. Things may change up as we get into it. We don't know exactly what we're going to be dealing with, but when we get there, follow us on our adventure and you'll see how it pans out. We still got 2 bedrooms we need to remodel, but I'm saving those for another year. I'm a little bit overwhelmed right now with just the 4 rooms I've got to get done this year. Another thing is, I really want to get my greenhouse built. A friend of mine who's a contractor, handyman type person, he changed out a bunch of sliding glass doors, and he gave me 5 thermal pane sliding glass door units. So I've got all these glass panels to build a greenhouse out of. And I live right down the street from the nation's largest indoor aquaponics system. So I'd love to go down there and do an interview and videograph my adventure down there and share with you guys what that system looks like and what aquaponics is, what they do, because I'd like to get like a small scale aquaponics into my little greenhouse that I built here. I haven't conclusively come up with a design for the greenhouse, but I'm working on it, so hang in there. That's in the plans. Another thing I need to do, we also do recycle. When we lived here, when we first moved on the property, we started trash pickup service, because when we first bought the property, there was tons of garbage here. I mean, garbage. And so I was sending garbage to the dump like crazy for the first year. Then I cut off garbage service, because I wanted to be able to process and recycle and repurpose everything that we brought onto the farm, including products that we get out of the store and stuff. So I'm going to produce a video on how we deal with our waste. We have not sent anything to the landfill in 2 years. We repurpose, recycle, reuse. We've come up with a plan to be able to separate everything and reuse it. And I've got some wonderful videos that I'll be producing on how we recycle. Here in the country, out in on the homestead, that we don't have to bury anything. We just take and we repurpose things and making them into another type of useful product. So stay tuned. We're going to be working on that. And in addition to going off-grid series, I finished a part 1 of going off-grid, which was like, I think, 16, 17 video series on going off-grid. So we put in the windmill. We got that done finally. We put in the generator. We've got that finished. We put in the solar package. We've got that done. I just got some wiring to do, got some inspections to go on, and then we can actually put the house on that system and completely generate all of our power needs that we need. And this includes, my system, as small as it is 4,000 watts, but the generator is 8 kilowatts. So if I need the extra energy, the system tells the generator to turn on, give us the extra power, because we rarely use 8 kilowatts. Rarely. I don't think we ever use 8 kilowatts. We just have the generator's just too big for the system, but the 4 kilowatts inverter is more than sufficient for the system I have. And this one, the package deal I put together so far is fine for running our septic system, our well, and also the lights in the house, because I've converted all the lights to LED technology. And my wife is using a laptop, I'm using a desktop, so there is not much usage of power here as far as the home goes. The only other big power consumers would be the refrigerator and freezer. And I'll be making some modifications to those, and I'll show you guys in a video on how to reduce your power consumption with your refrigerator and freezer also. That's a future video. So part 2 of going off the grid for Pine Meadows Hobby Farm is we're going to be building a gasifier. I have, through my connections and being able to clean up estates, I've accumulated enough material to be able to build a gasifier, and I've been exploring the best, most resourceful design that I could build and use as far as a gasifier goes. Now, I own a mountain, and there's a lot of wood here, so there's a lot of fuel here that I could use to create my own wood gas. And there's an interesting concept also with producing the wood gas and somehow compressing it into old propane bottles and running that wood gas in through all of my gas appliances. And so with that said, I can produce all of my own fuels from what I grow here on the farm and not have to purchase anything outside of the farm, completely self-sustaining here. And with me producing my own power, drawing my own water from the ground, producing my own fuels, then technically, yes, we would be off the grid. Some people are actually building their homes with no use of electrical power at all. I commend them for that. That's wonderful. There was a video that I see from a Thoreauvian cabin type thing. I love that cabin. In fact, that gets me into the next part of what I want to do this year, and that is build a cabin or a tree house on my mountain this next year. I'm accumulating the lumber for that. I've got to keep it under 200 square feet, and I believe this cabin design will accommodate me on that. It cannot have electricity going to it, so we're going to be no electric power on that. It'll have heat, and it'll have water, but the water will be, I have to be creative with the water even. Another thing on my list to do is go ahead and create my Back to Eden garden. I've watched that Back to Eden garden film several times, and I've watched other films that people have produced on YouTube on their Back to Eden. Some have failures, some have just wonderful prospered, and I noticed that in the failures, they're missing a step. When you're doing a Back to Eden garden, the guy lays it out step by step on what to do, and if you miss any one of those steps, it's going to be harder for you. So I recommend watching the film, watching a couple times, taking notes, step by step, to be able to produce a successful garden. And so we're going to go ahead and implement a Back to Eden garden here at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm all into that. I really am all into that. I still got some more fruit trees and nut trees I need to purchase and put an orchard together. I just have an apple tree, a cherry tree, a pear tree, and a stone fruit tree, which produces a variety of stone fruits. 4 fruit trees that I have from my little orchard, and I want to add some nut trees and some other variety of fruit trees on the farm. so we can start producing our own fruits. And I want to also add some more berries. I want to get some of those goji berries too, very medicinal. And the rabbitry. I decided I'm just going to go ahead and build another building and build a rabbitry. And I'm going to be raising and selling the Easter bunnies, New Zealand rabbits. I got one more fence to put up, and I'm also been talking to the wife about adding another farm animal. I'm actually going to add 2 more farm animals to the Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. This next spring I'm going to add some turkeys. Also going to add those American Guinea hogs. I'm going to get a couple of those. I have a nice little spot to put them in. And I'm researching American Guinea hogs right now. So far so good. I like what I see. The young man who purchased some of my rabbits from me, he's actually raising them. So it's through him I'll be buying them from. Horseshoe Pit. We've got horseshoes. And I want to get the Horseshoe Pit on because I like playing horseshoes. It's a nice little leisurely family activity that you can do. Even my wife and I. We have the grandkids living part-time on the farm now. And I want to be able to have a nice activity for the grandkids to be able to participate in. We're also going to be building a tire swing for them. I have a tree already selected, so we'll show you how to build a nice secure tire swing for the kids. Yes, and adding to our Going Off Grid series, I have 3 creeks flowing through my property. 2 of them are real close to the house. We've got one flowing in the front yard and another one flowing in the backyard, which fills the pond up and flows out of the pond. I'm going to put a water wheel on. My brother-in-law gave me one of these motor thingies that came out of a washer. There's a guy in New Zealand or Australia that has taken this same type of motor from a washing machine, put it on a hydro, and is generating a nice amount of electricity. Even shows how to rewire it to not get so much power out of it. To get it down to just enough power to be able to keep your batteries charged. So we're going to go ahead and do that and rewire it, build a water wheel, put it on the creek. That way I have a complete hybrid system for generating electricity. So we got a little bit of remodeling going on this winter, major remodeling in the kitchen going on this spring. We've got a storage shed I've got to build, a greenhouse I've got to build, a rabbitry I've got to build, a tree house or a cabin up in the mountain I want to build, and then we also have a gasifier I want to build this year, and another device. I won't talk to you about that right now, but we're going to get into it. Oh, and another thing I want to build is one of those outdoor Cob Ovens. We're going to build one of those also. I don't know if it's going to be this year. It may be next year. It depends on what kind of time I have. I also want to build a solar dehydrator, food dehydrator outside also. So we're gonna be busy and trying to get this farm totally self-reliant. So that's it. That's not it. There's still a lot more on the list to do, but that covers the highlights of the videos that'll be produced this next year. I want to thank you for participating. I want to thank you guys for watching my video, and I'm going to pass it back to my son to take this video to the conclusion. I'm Jerry Hanson, your host here at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm.
I hope you enjoy the video, and I thank you for coming. We are also on social media. Look for us on Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and give it a thumbs up. I want to thank you for coming. Bye.